Hello, hello. Welcome all to the business meetup. This is the session. Again, this was so, I would say, beneficial last week that I wanted to do this again. So hot seating, whoever is coming here live. If you're watching the recording, I do advise you to think about what can you take away when I coach someone else? So how does that apply to your situation? What you can learn, take new perspectives, options to apply in your business. My name is Kaisa Siipilehto. I'm an online business consultant and leadership coach, founder of LIVIO Joy. And joy is a big part of what I do. I want to bring joy, fun, and also make online business launch, how you offer your services online, simple, fun, joyful, like I said. Hi to the Instagram audience as well. You can find the link in my bio to come and join the live session here on Zoom where I can take your questions. If you're watching the replay, like I said, really go deep, make notes, take that advice, and hopefully see you next time live, because these business meetups are really for you. This is how I want to contribute to my community, for those experts who want to turn their expertise to income, online income, so that you can work how you want, from where you want, whether it is a home office or traveling around the world, like I did 3 years with my husband, living in 4 continents while supporting, guiding, training, mentoring over 1,000 experts globally. So that is really what I want us to focus on. How can I support you to find what are those essential skills that you have, something valuable that people would need your help with? So how can I really support you in finding what it is, honing into your expertise, and how to turn that into income opportunities to support the lifestyle that you want to have. I want to help you to make a living of what is meaningful for you. Where are your skills? We are here probably for many different industries. I mostly have knowledge experts. So what does that mean? Maybe you're a coach like me, maybe you're a consultant, educator in your field, wanting to provide services in an online space. Now that the world is more connected than ever, who is your audience? Who do you want to help? And how I can support you to create the service, the product, the program, whatever it is for you, to help others succeed in the area that maybe you have overcome before. Maybe something that you have studied, you have knowledge and expertise. And very often, like for us coaches, at least for me, is that how can I bring something from my experience? Like I said, now I've been enjoying studying my personal development, but also offering my services online for the past 4 years. And how can I support others to enjoy the freedom of working how they want from anywhere in the world, basically, where you have internet connection. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time. I see people in here. You can come on camera. Hi, Patricia, Linda, and Sari. That I see here on the list. So what I wanted to do is to really take your questions. So what would be, think about, what is the number 1 question for you now that you would really want to solve, get clarity on, get some advice, opinions that will help you to go to the next level? Whether you're dreaming of starting, planning of starting your own business, wanting to offer those services online, or you have started already, what would help you to kind of go to the next level. So I really want to just like hot seat you now. Hot seat doesn't mean that I'll be roasting you, maybe some challenging questions, but this is really for you to ask, put those questions, ask, how can I support you? And we have others here as well who can support you. So who wants to go next? Oh, first. Who wants to go first? I mean, next, because we did this last week. So I see Sari, who was here last week. Maybe we can go to you as well. How have you found those like actions that we got last week? But also, just raise your hand. This is like first come, first serve. Who wants to ask the first question? Yes, Patricia, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you. I don't know if I've seen your face before, so welcome to the business meetup.
I don't think so. This is my first time, so thank you. I saw you in, I think it was the Digital Nomad Summit. I
Oh,
was in part
so
of
how to
that,
move
so
overseas by
yeah,
Joanna. Yes, okay,
yeah.
great. Yes.
Okay.
So welcome. Can you tell me a little bit about you, where you are, and then what would be your burning question? What would you want to solve today?
Okay. All right. So I have two businesses. I'm an English teacher, and that right at the moment is taking up 100% of my income and my time. I would like to transition into being a coach, a creativity coach, or a life coach for creatives, and also just helping people to move abroad when they are creatives, how to be a digital nomad as a creative.
Oh, are
Um,
you in that space? Have you also enjoyed the nomadic lifestyle, or where does that passion come from?
yeah, yeah. So I am actually, this is the second, I'm in the middle of my second year doing this. So last year I started in July. I took off and I thought I would try it and see if I liked it. I love the lifestyle, and so I am currently in France. I'm originally from the United States.
Nice. How
Okay.
do you find France?
I love it. This is I've wanted to go my entire life,
Yeah.
and so that was my one of my first places that I went to, and now I'm back again this year. I think this will be an annual thing for me, if not possibly looking into immigration.
Okay,
Um,
good.
yeah.
I'm very excited for you. I hear many Americans wanting to relocate to France, so that's a thing now.
Yes. And I've wanted to do it, like I said, since I was a little girl, and then life just got in the way. Marriage, kids, my children are now full grown, they're adults.
Mm.
So I'm able to do this and to travel. And being a digital nomad was the way that I was able to be able to travel and to finance actually going to even just going to France, because before it was too hard in a corporate job. You were always working. We don't, as Americans, we do not get a lot of time or any time off. So my goal is to get rid of that hustle culture and to not be just all I am is just work, go to sleep, work, go to sleep. And what I'm finding is because my English teaching classes are one on one, it is a lot of just work, go to sleep. So I'm not able to live the life that I had envisioned. Plus, I really want to help other people. I've been an artist and a dancer my whole life, so I want to help everyone else with that. What
Yeah.
I'm struggling with right now is building my audience and getting people interested, building a solid client base, a solid email base
Do you mean for the coaching business or for
for
the
the coaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I hear you say that you have this teaching, but you would want to either transition or run the both businesses at the same time.
I could run both, but I would like the majority of it to be coaching
Okay.
and maybe just a little bit of the English on the side because I do have several clients that I've been teaching for years. I do business English
Okay.
for adults, so it's a little bit different niche
Yeah.
than some other teaching.
Um, Before we go to your audience building, I heard
Mhm.
you said you have one-on-one clients and it's taking up a lot of your time. Have you
Yes.
considered running a group for these clients?
Some of them are for I contract with other companies. And so I wouldn't be able
Okay.
to use those for my group.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is post evergreen classes online and then have a support option with that where we would do
Right.
group coaching, but they would have a program to follow and then that would be an additional purchase.
Yes, I'm asking you this first because it sounds like you're so busy with your current work, your business,
Hmm.
that how do you dedicate time to building your life coaching business?
Yes.
So how we can maybe do this teaching more efficiently and maybe not that you need to give up the clients, but
Hmm.
think about maybe the group, especially. I understand if you have some one-on-one clients that wouldn't be able to join, but if
Yeah.
there is a way, I would consider that. That's the fastest. Then you mentioned, of course, building a course. That would take some time for you to build it unless you already have the materials ready.
I have I have the general outline of what I would want to do for
Yeah.
the courses. So I think it wouldn't necessarily be as difficult. I would need to take a little bit of time to write the curriculum,
Yeah.
but my base right now, I have a lot of followers on Facebook for the English.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't really have emails of people is my problem. And so like I have followers, but they're not really mine. Or I have
Yes.
people that I've taught through these other companies, but they're not I don't own those clients or their data. So it would be a conflict of interest if they joined the
Right.
group coaching for those. So yeah, so I was really thinking if I'm going to have to start from the beginning to build the audience, I would prefer to do it with the creativity coaching.
Okay. Yes. And
Yeah.
I'm happy that you asked this question because this
Mhm.
is for all of you listening,
Yeah,
how to build your business. There is no business without clients, and how do you
exactly.
get clients? And what you mentioned, like, yes, you can use social media to find those leads, but you don't own them. So
Hmm.
how can you attract them to your ecosystem? How can you get their details? So what can you offer so that you get their phone numbers, email addresses, so that you can connect with them? Of course, you can
Exactly.
connect on Facebook groups, social media, but then I've also heard like how experts get their profiles shut down and then they
Hmm.
can't access their audience.
Exactly.
I'm glad you brought this question up. Can I go deeper? Because you mentioned you would
Hmm.
want to start building your audience for the creative, helping
Hmm.
creatives through coaching.
Hmm.
Um, if you would put that in one sentence, what is the mission? Who do you help, and how and what do they gain working with you?
Okay. So I help people in the capacity of a life coach. I usually use life coach because people know what that is. So it's
I
life
don't,
coaching.
sorry, can
Oh,
I say, take the life coaching out.
you
People are
would. Okay.
not interested in the method. They want to
Okay.
hear what do they gain working with you.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
who do you
my pro
help to gain what? Yeah.
okay. So I help creatives specifically. It could be someone who is working in the professional capacity or someone who is creative by hobby or trying to explore their creativity. Oftentimes, our creativity gets squashed as we get older, as we become adults, and it is no longer an outlet that we feel is available to us. But I want to bring that availability back to creative people and let them explore their creativity and get them really just creating again, get them exploring again.
So that, what do they gain
So
from getting
so
that
that
creativity?
they can get the fulfillment that missing piece that they feel is in their lives. So people who have quit drawing and given it up, but there's that nagging little piece that always says, "Oh, I wish I were drawing. I wish I were painting again." So I want to give them that back into their life and show them how they can create time
Yeah.
to do that, to do their creative outlet.
How do you feel about describing about your service without mentioning the life coaching part?
Um, I was saying creativity coach just as the title, and I feel like people were confused.
Yes. I mean, of course, when you do a website
Yeah.
or build profiles, you can have that. I wanted you to kind of hear meeting
Hmm.
others, meeting new people. How would you describe who you help and what do they gain working with
Okay.
you? The focus is on that. And I want
Okay.
all of you to write down what is your sentence.
Okay.
Now, can I ask you, Patricia, do that again in one sentence? You were describing a lot, so how would
Okay.
you really do that in one sentence?
Okay. So that would be difficult.
I can,
So
I can, I can help you. So,
all
for
right.
example, for me, is that I help knowledge experts to turn their expertise into online income so that they can work remotely how they want from anywhere in the world. That's my sentence. Now it was a bit longer than usual, but
Okay.
what will be your sentence?
Um, I help creatives rediscover or discover their creative outlets and bring it back into a daily part of their routine
So
or
that,
bring it into their daily routine um, so that they can once again feel alive and excited about their path.
okay.
Okay.
Now it's clearer. Of course, then you can go
Okay.
deeper when you meet people and asking where they are. Are they creatives, like in a professional
Mhm.
field, or wanting to do that as a hobby? And I know many of my friends who during
Yeah.
COVID started like painting and trying out new things,
Hmm.
like my lawyer friends or something. So yeah, there is definitely a market for that. But I want you to be clear on who would be the first audience. And now, would you go for professionals or those individuals who would want to have that as an interest, like as a hobby?
Um, I really feel like I could do both.
I'm asking you this because would you speak in the same way for both groups?
Um, no, that's a good question. So I would, so professionals are doing it right now, but they're running into blocks. Um, People who are doing it for a hobby are not as confident as professionals. So maybe they like to dance, but they don't think they're good enough.
Mm,
They won't
yeah.
explore it. So yeah, or they may not know their style. So yeah, I would work more with them in exploring the style that they prefer.
And of course, you can work with both, but since you're
Hmm.
starting, I would really focus on one group first. And once
Okay.
you have that audience, you have clients, you have whether it is one-on-one or group coaching programs that you're running, you can of course start adding services. Like
Okay.
I started with one-on-one, then I took on groups. Now I have a club, and meanwhile I've been hosting events. So once you start with something and that flows, you can start adding new things.
Okay.
But before you kind of have more time, because now you're teaching and building a
Yeah.
business, I will really focus on one. And this
Okay.
is again for all of you listening, think about what is your sentence? Who is your audience? Especially if you're thinking of multiple groups and you're start with one. What do you feel most passionate about? I want you to be excited about the business that you're building. So who is that person? And of course, it doesn't, in this case, they are creatives or those who want to nurture their creativity, bring it back alive, if I understood.
Yes.
It can be that you help both professionals and individuals um, in the same group as well, depending kind of what is the transformation that you help. What is, I would, if I were you, I would really
Mhm.
reflect, like journal around what would be the change. What is their current situation? They
Okay.
feel stuck or something like that. But if
Okay.
you, they, let's say that they are those professionals who kind of feel stuck in their creativity, how can you let them overcome whatever is blocking them and and let that creativity shine again?
Okay.
And if it resonates with some individual, like for hobbyists as well, of course you
Hmm.
don't need to say no to them and they can
Yeah.
join. I had a business coaching session and the lady said to me, like, when we have a group, normally maybe 60% of your clients would be those ideal clients. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't have other clients. It's just
Okay.
helping you with the marketing. It helps you with the messaging, communicating when you're speaking to those people who would want to have that creativity in their life again.
Okay. Um,
That's why I kind of advise you to choose one because, and you're the professional, of course, but to me, it sounds like professionals would be maybe stuck and you can help them in another way. Like you
mhm.
said, the individuals would be more like thinking, I'm not good at dancing, should I even try?
Yeah.
The messaging would be a little bit different, like encouraging them in a different way.
Yeah. I think I might want to start with people who would be considered hobbyists. So maybe they were a professional, or maybe they started out with that intention and then for whatever reason stopped. So they're dealing with a lot of confidence issues
Yeah.
that the professionals are not. The professionals are maybe stuck. They feel like they're in the same style, they're in the same rut, and they want to explore different options. But you're right. They're all exploring different options, but what I would be the transformation would be different.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because if you're running it as a business, it would be
Yeah.
different than a hobby. Okay.
So I know we didn't go into the like how to build your email
Mhm.
list, but first I wanted you to be freeing up time so that you can start building this one.
Okay.
And then, because you mentioned that now you're
Yeah.
basically teaching all day long. So how can you take time to this business? So think about that first, and then really focus on getting that clarity. Who is your ideal client? What is the situation they are at? Maybe you were in a similar situation. I don't know. Maybe you can bring that personal experience into it. But I want you to describe, like, what is the situation? What are they feeling? Are they sad that they're kind of lost in their creativity?
Yes.
What are the feelings? And then what is on the other side when they can bring it back to life?
Okay.
So this will help you with the messaging. Then I want you to get obsessed about talking about that transformation, what is available for them, and
Okay.
see who it resonates with. I hear you already have some channels. Yes, maybe this is not exactly for your English business English students.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Okay.
Maybe you can introduce to your group that, hey, this is also what I do. And if you're interested, I would really start with that audience.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm working right now to build up. I'm finding more people actually on Instagram.
right.
So that seems to be my channel. I also was thinking of doing YouTube because that is a very good channel for a lot of creatives are on YouTube. They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, but they're not on Facebook. So I'm
Right.
really finding, yeah, I'm just not finding anyone on Facebook. I'm finding people are like, oh, that's interesting. I wish I could be creative, but I'm not, and I'm not interested in it. Um,
And this is again for all of you, if you're starting to build your audiences, I would do maximum 3 channels, because again, dedicating time to put up content, and not only that, then you want to have those conversations. So DMs, ask questions, like have those conversations with people. So that will also take up some of your time. So what is the channel? You mentioned already Instagram, TikTok, YouTube content. So create a plan. When would you dedicate time to nurture these channels? Or is there something that you will start with? I heard that TikTok content is best to build there, and some TikTok content works on Instagram. So you can have some benefits, but I heard that Instagram content doesn't work on TikTok. So
you have to be careful. So if you post a video, you have to, it can't have the logo. So it can't have the Instagram logo and it can't have the TikTok logo. So you can't just take your video, the nice one that you created. Um, I usually just create mine in iPhoto and then upload it from there to each platform.
yeah,
And that way it doesn't interfere with the logos.
yes.
So I
Okay.
don't get banned
Yes.
basically, or swap to the bottom. I know that they put you to the bottom. I've already got several, I've got 160, I think, almost on Instagram already. So that's my biggest channel
Yeah.
right there. So, and I find that honestly, I'm just not growing at all on Facebook. So I just don't see where I should
Then
devote any
don't
time
focus
to
on
it.
Facebook.
Okay.
Focus on what's working and do more of that.
Okay.
Focus your energy there and forget the Facebook if you have tried it. And this is again great point for all of you. Just do more of what is working. You can of course test. Well, with social media building, it takes time.
Yeah.
So choose kind of your channels and focus on 1 to maximum 3 at a time. YouTube is great because when people they put things on Google or search engine,
Mm-hmm.
they also bring the YouTube contents there. So have good headlines, have good content that people would search. So
Okay.
it's good to
Yeah,
use those
I
like
haven't done
keywords.
any YouTube, so that could so that might actually be the channel that's better for me, but I haven't been doing it.
Yes. Well, make a plan if you start with the social media, the Instagram and TikTok, and then maybe later on YouTube. But again, you want to have time for that as well. And they don't need to be long. Probably you can
Mhm.
have just like 5-minute videos and just focus on one topic at a time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Patricia, that was a lot of
Yeah.
questions. I want to take another one to hot seat, but
Thank
I
you.
really wanted, there was great points. Can I see some hands who was benefiting from this coaching? Who got some ideas for really finding your audience, choosing your channels? Oh, this is catching up my my hand. Okay, I see a hand in here. Sari, is it for a question or it was like voting? So who wants to go next? I will take about 10-15 minutes. Um, we'll continue this. So thank you, Patricia, for coming, sharing good questions. Next week, I want to hear more what is working for you. So hopefully you get to join here. Who wants to take the hot seat next? Just raise your hand, unmute, ask your question. What would be the burning question that you're kind of struggling with, what you want clarity on? This is really for you. Hmm? I don't see any hands. This is your moment to get free coaching. If there's no hands, we're gonna stop the meetup, but I would like to take another question. Or please tell me if you got an idea. Who do you help and how? What is your one sentence? I would love to hear those. So who wants to unmute yourself and tell who do you help and how? This is your audience to network with others. Maybe there's a client, future client for you. Be who wants to be courageous, and let me support you on getting that clarity around that as well. I'm gonna finish the Instagram here. Ciao. Okay, guys, who wants to go? Susan, I see you on camera. Would you like to tell us who do you help and how? What do they get working with you?
So I don't really have an online business yet.
Okay. Who would you be passionate about helping?
Well, children and their parents.
Okay.
And
What kind of change you want to see in their life?
I want to see them have more joy.
Oh, I love joy. That's in my business name. So, how would you do that? How do you help them to have more joy?
Well, I am writing a book
Okay.
and of very, very short stories, really more vignettes, very tiny, true stories about my misadventures as a pet sitter. And I eventually what I want to do is um, present the stories live. I have a persona that goes along with it, my autumn chicken. Um, and uh, in the stories, even though they're true stories about, they're kind of silly and things, there are lessons to be learned in
Yeah.
them, such as doing something you've never done before, no matter how old you are, which is what happened. And eventually I want to be out speaking. I want to present programs in libraries, all just telling the stories And I've worked in an elementary school, and I shared some stories with a 5-year-old. And every time I tell him a story, he's like, "Oh, tell me another, tell me another." So I know that they like them. I have proof. Um, I told the stories to adults, and they have laughed their tushes off. So it's multi-level. It's for young children, older children and adults. They all get something out of it. I'm just not sure how to go about it. One of the things I'm thinking of doing is a YouTube, and starting by telling some of the stories online. Um, I haven't done it. I'm dealing right now with an injured back.
Okay.
I worked in elementary schools. I just had a job at an early learning center, and they let me go yesterday because of my back. I can't do my job. So I now have no excuse of not having time because I don't have a job anymore.
So
So
Susan, when is your book launched? What is your target
it's
date?
not done yet. I was hoping for this December, and that's not going to happen.
Okay, what's the new date?
Um, this summer, I think, June.
Okay. Where are you in terms of like how far are you in the book? If ready is 100%, where are you now?
I'm about, I want to say, a half, maybe 2/3 of the first draft. I am fighting with myself to finish the first draft and not start editing right away, because I know that will make me
Can
never
you help
finish.
me understand in percentages? How much would that be?
I would say I'm about 60% done.
60%. So now you said that you have time. Obviously, you want to heal as well and get well, but you have time. Why why June? Why postpone so much if you're 60% along?
Because I want to finish the first draft and then go back and really polish it.
Okay.
And it does need a lot of polish. I already know how I want to rewrite a lot of the things I've already written. And like I said, I don't want to take the time to do that, or I'll never finish. You know what I mean by that, right? Because you're
Yes.
constantly polishing, but you never finish. So I want to get that first draft done first.
So
And
when, Susan, my question to you is, when do you want to start reading these in person or online?
oh, I want to start
Yes.
doing that, like I'd like to do it now.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
This
I'd
is
like.
kind of like my idea why I asked you this, because like you don't need to wait until your book is finished.
Right.
You would have an audience to test out the stories, and that can help you edit your book. That's what I'm
Right.
hearing.
Yes.
That you've been already telling stories and getting feedback, and how you can now kind of put these together, how you can tell your stories, get people's feedback, and how do you want to probably edit the stories. Because when you speak them out loud, maybe you'll notice something new, like, hey, ideas will pop up. So
Yeah,
let
I
me,
do.
Susan, ask you, like, is this a project for fun, or are you planning to make an income helping these families?
I would like to make an income at it. I don't know if you've ever heard of Loretta LaRoche. She
No,
she
maybe not.
she was a coach, basically, for kind of a happiness coach, if you will.
Okay.
She spoke on stage. She had a persona. She made people laugh, um, basically at themselves. Um, and that's what I want to do. I want to get on stage. I want to share my stories. I want to make people laugh. I want them to see, the absurdity of, I'm too old. um, I just, or too young. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I tend to be a very positive person. I believe joy is an inside job, and no matter what your circumstances, you still have joy. Even lying in bed here with pain, I'm still, I still have a smile on my face, and I still
Yeah.
feel joy. Not happy with my circumstance, but still feel
Yeah.
the joy.
I love that you bring this up, because what can we find internally, like that we wouldn't be, finding joy? Of course, sometimes externally creating experiences, but it's really about the attitude, your
Yep.
mindset towards things, and how you can help others to have more of that joy. So because I do have a meeting on top of the hour, so let me just ask a final question from you, because of course these are multiple streams of income. Having a book sold, being on stage as a speaker, or coaching, however you want to do it, and then what do you see yourself, like, how do you help these parents and children? What would benefit them the most to bring joy to their everyday life?
To learn not to take life so serious, like,
Yeah.
and not bringing their stuff to their kids, or
Mm.
taking it out on their kids, because that's what I see.
Yeah.
Try to get
So
them
how
to
do
like.
you see yourself helping them?
I really think just listening to the stories, and just like, just hearing that you can laugh at yourself, that it's okay, that no matter what's going on,
Mm.
you can always laugh at yourself. I mean, in some ways, life is very absurd, and just don't take it seriously. I mean,
Yeah. I want to hear from our listeners who's here now. Please raise your hand who would want more joy, less seriousness, and more joy in your life. I'm definitely there, because sometimes it's very easy for me to make things more complicated. I had a coaching session today where a person said, like, I want to like make things simple and easy. And I'm like, that is a skill, because people overthink too much or make things too complicated. I want you to think about this also, all of you, in your businesses or whatever you're creating and building. How can you make it simple? When I did marketing for a long time, sometimes I wanted to be like so creative and kind of like maybe I wasn't that clear, because I was really like, oh, this is good, like this is and maybe I would get it. But how can you communicate to people that they will really understand what you do? And I see this a lot in, let's say, coaches, but elsewhere as well, that people describe their businesses in a very difficult way. I want you all to take that industry jargon away. I was speaking like the coaching jargon at first, but that's kind of what I talked to Patricia about, like, speak their language. They want to know what is the benefit, what do they get from it? And then you can go into the mechanics later, like, okay, what is the service? How do you deliver the service? But first you wanted to speak to people, like where they are at, meet them where they are at, and you wanna help them to see what's on the other side when they overcome the fear or being stuck or overthinking things. You want to paint that picture for them. to let them see what is possible. And then you go into what does it mean if you work together? How can you help? But the conversation doesn't start there. Like, are you interested in this or that, what I offer? First, you really want to start with them. Ask a lot of questions from your audience, from your people. Get to know, like Susan is here telling the stories, getting the feedback, getting their reactions. How can you do that with your audience to get that response? Because then the services can develop when you have these conversations. Okay, I wanna finish with this because this is so important. And I had this with my coach as well. Like yesterday, we were talking about how people are just building their programs. They are using a lot of time to build the frameworks or programs. And of course, if you're doing an online course, yes, that's what you're supposed to do. But if you want to help people one-on-one or group setting live like this, really just tailor it to them. Ask a lot of questions where they are at, and then see how you can develop your services. So instead of like putting a lot of effort into the frameworks, yes, you can have some idea, of course, about your services, and they want your expertise to help them. For example, I have a 12-step online business launch program. How can you launch an online business in 12 weeks or less? And that is structures, there's topics, but I will tailor it to everyone's situation. So it's a loose framework depending what kind of business they have. Here we already had Patricia and Susan have very different businesses. So how can I coach both of them? So it's not that strict framework. I don't know if it makes sense for you, but I really want you all to be having those conversations with your ideal clients before putting a lot of time and effort into a framework that nobody would be interested in, or very few. I've done a course with a colleague and 2 people bought it. We put a lot of time and effort into that, but not marketing. So I don't want you to make the same mistake of putting a lot of time and effort into something. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful to have this conversation. And Susan, you can, when you start reading your stories, being in front of people, asking kind of like, what are their pain points? What are their everyday life struggles? And getting an understanding from them and what they would really want in their life. And then asking those questions, getting that. I mean, I heard that you've been already doing some of this. So then thinking about like, what is the service that you can offer? I see a lot of possibilities for you. Whether you want to do it in person, like you said, already meeting people in libraries, probably that would be an avenue for you to find those ideal clients. And then you would have an offer for them. How can they start working with you one-on-one or group? And if you want to know like location restrictions, like how can you offer your services online? That's what I do. Because, for example, in my groups, we have people from different continents. So this is like, there's really not a lot of limitations when we think about the online world. But I want you all to be clear on who would be your ideal client. Not only the demographics, like are they women or men or their age or where they live, but what I discussed with you today, like about the situation. What is the challenge that they are facing now? What is their situation? What kind of emotions they are feeling? When I changed my whole life, I was really feeling overwhelmed and stressed when I was moving to a new country, starting new studies, starting my business, moving in together with my now husband, that we had a long-term relationship, long distance relationship before. There was a lot of moving parts. There was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fears. So what is your ideal client feeling? Now that I help people building their businesses, there's a lot of fears around, like, so people just don't know, for example, the online opportunities, or they know and they are confused because there's so many options. So what would work you the best? And like I said, Susan, I see so many opportunities for you. So where can we start? Same as Patricia, start with one group, one service, and then of course you can start building later. And that's a great way to start with something, build the foundation, and when you have, let's say that it would be a membership, that you have clients paying you on a monthly basis, it's easier for you to start a new program, or like start attracting a new group, like in Patricia's case, if she started with professionals, and then she can have another service for those who would want to do that as a hobby, if it's a different message and situation and the way of working. Okay. Oh, I'm talking a lot. How was this helpful for you today? I hope you got a lot of nuggets for you, but also listening others. How does this apply? So thank you all for great questions. You're not alone with these questions. I see thumbs up. Thank you. I put the link for the next meetup on the chat, so take that, save it. I'm traveling for my birthday to Istanbul on Thursday, so that's why we meet on Wednesday next week. So same time but different day. So we'll meet on Wednesday. Hopefully you can make it. I think we do this hot seating again. Who would agree that this is a great way for me to provide information? Previously, I kind of had a topic and three-step, three pieces of advice, but I would see that you get the most value of these hot seating coaching on the spot. Who's in for, who wants to be coached next time? Just raise a hand or send me a message. I will take your question first. So yeah, that's it from me today. I do have that other meeting. I will let you go today. We went a little bit over time, as usually it is 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm glad you stayed here. Hopefully this was, like I said, valuable for you today, and really hone in on your audience. Who do you want to help? Who do you want to work with? I want you to think about, yes, you might have a lot of options who you can help, but who do you really feel passionate about helping? I want you to think about that, and then the situation, then later on about the services you can offer. So starting with the client in mind. Okay, thank you all for coming. See you next week. And bring your questions, how I can support you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. My birthday is the 18th, so 9 days to go.
Happy birthday. A little early, but better, any time is a good time.
Yeah, it's a birthday month. I'll celebrate the whole month, right?
No, it's the whole year. You deserve to be celebrated every day.
Yes, I like that idea. I like that idea. Yes. Thank you, Susan. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.